Hello everybody, this is Dean Webb with Cities Timelines. We're going to take a look at how history impacts the growth of a city. And for that, well, we've got this. I know everybody else out there is trying to make pedestrian-only zones, cool things like that, but hey, I've got massive populations of refugees to house, and the only way I'm going to get that done is if I throw buildings together as quickly as possible, as cheaply as possible. The reason why? Well, glad you asked. This episode is called City in Crisis because at the end of World War II, that described just about every city in Europe. There were tens of millions of people who were left homeless because of the impact of the war and the aftermath of the war, while there were millions of people who were wandering around without food or shelter because of the impact, bombing, and battle. There were many millions more who were evicted from their countries of residence because they were decided to be no longer culturally or ethnically desirable by the new governments in charge. At the same time, millions of men were coming back from the front lines or prisoner of war camps and had to find a way to integrate into the cities and get back to work. So the people are coming to this town. I've got to build things to get ready for them. Fortunately, I've already got over 19,000 jobs available, mostly from the industry we built along the riverfront in an earlier episode, but only 7,800 people are employed. The reason? Most of the population are seniors right now. The able-bodied people are coming to town, and we need to put in housing for them. I'd like it to be low-density residential, as those have a better profile, shall we say, of younger people. So to do that, I'd like to use the Find It mod. The Find It mod allows me to select just about anything and place it. So for this case, I'd like to go with growables, and I've got a keyword that I'm using. I'm using the word Bauhaus. Now, this is not one that's on top of any particular asset as you download it. Some of them will have that in their name. But I've created a tag, Bauhaus, and I've applied it to, well, 110 different assets. So when I type in this keyword, they all show up here. If I want to see which ones are low density residential, now I have these to choose from. Well, I've already gotten 49 of these UK brutalist houses. I'll put in some more of them. And let's try them in an area, say like right around, here. This looks like a good spot. Now, these are great houses for this kind of environment because they're basically made of poured concrete. That means there's no need to work metal or wood in particularly skilled ways. You just have a pattern, the concrete, you pour the concrete and let it set, and then people can move in. It's good to go. These will house 6 families. It used to be 2, but I changed the RECO settings on them. They now will house 6 families in here. So there's medium density residential. They look terrible. They are brutalist after all. It's concrete and glass. That's it. They've got fixtures in them. The people will move in either on the first, second, or third floor, left side or right side, and then from there, they'll do their own jobs. And although they look terrible, they're cheap enough and they're quick enough to be built that we can get lots of people put into them right away. Well, I've already got other housing that I've laid down. Let's see how that impacts. Already we're seeing a growth in population, so I'll let it run for a little while, and then we'll be able to see what it looks like in just a minute. We've got the people moving into town, as we can see by the big increase we're getting in population. It's many hundreds every week. And we can also see that our unemployment has now gone to 47%. We're filling up those jobs. We're seeing a bigger percentage of adults coming in. So these are essentially soldiers returning from the front. But we're also seeing an education gap. a lot of the people coming in don't have the skills necessary to fill those higher end jobs. We need to do something about that. We need to find people with skills to fill them, and fast. And that particular question has a political dimension to it. That problem is illustrated precisely in this photograph. Here we see in the foreground two men serving in police forces in Germany during the Nazi regime. The one on the left has a traditional uniform. He is probably someone who has been with the police long before the regime came into power. The one on the right wears the uniform of a police service that the Nazis established after they came into power. He's seen as perhaps a Nazi by the Allied occupation forces. But at the same time, the one on the left, he may have been involved in activities with the one on the right in terms of collecting people to send to concentration camps and other crimes. Because of their association with the Nazi Party and its crimes, the Allies wanted men like these in prisons, or if not in prisons, at least not in the general workforce. But after the war, the Allies also had a desperate need for skilled people to be back in their positions so that way they could get the economy back into gear, they could get law and order reestablished, and accomplish many other goals. And that's where these two men come into the picture, because even if they were associated with the Nazi Party and its crimes, they did have real skills as police officers that were needed to restore law and order to a Europe that was drowning in chaos. And so men like these didn't go to prison. They got different police uniforms and then they went back on the beat. Take a look at these German coal workers. Are any of them Nazis? Does it matter? If we have to get coal dug out of the side of mountains in order to fuel the cities and keep them warm and to keep the engines of industry going, their skills are desperately needed. We can't just put anyone into a coal mine and expect them to be productive. We've got to have the people with the right skills doing those jobs. And again, if they were Nazis or collaborators, it didn't make a difference. Back to work they went. Political affiliation had very little impact when it came to specialized industrial skills, such as running this power generator or running a locomotive. These people were desperately needed, and they had to be in their places so that way the jobs that were going to be started again for those millions of soldiers that were returning would have the infrastructure necessary to keep things going. We don't want to see a situation in which millions of soldiers come home and are unemployed, and due to unemployment create political unrest. We've got to have things working so that way we can get people moved from one part of the world to another to where they can find a place within a city, and once they are within that city, a job, a home, a return to normality. And that's what we've got to do in our city. So looking at our requirements here, we have got to have jail availability here. We have way too many criminals and nowhere to put them. So time to build a prison. We need more policing. We need more fire. We need lots more education, particularly elementary and secondary. We're doing okay with our universities, so we'll forestall that. But it's time to put in those services and get this place back to where it needs to be. So, where do we put the prison? Well, let's first look for one. There's our prison. Okay. Do we put it right in the middle of town? Yeah, no. We want to put it on the... Oh, wait, no, not by the stadium. Where do we put a prison? Oh, hey, here's an area on the edge of town, right by all the incinerators and garbage dumps. Okay, that works. We'll put a prison there. Next, we need some more fire coverage. So let's get our fire stations. Put one there. I'm not going to be worried about those other outlying areas. I want to go to the ones that have actual people living in them. I'll put one on this street. That should help those folks. And we've got some area over here we need to help out with. Got a nice square corner there. I'll put it on that. And now policing. We'll get a European looking police station. And put one there. There seems to be quite a bit of crime in that spot, so I'll stick one there. All right. That should help out. And now for our education. We need to get some elementaries in there. Well, I'll put in this public school here. This will take some students. And I'll take a look at this one here. I know these are not European style, but this area is inspired by Europe, not married to Europe. So I can't quite fit this in right here. And because of that, we're going to delete some roads. So let's do that. We're going to take out this one, area here. In fact, we can put in some larger schools there now. So that can go there. And now let's get a secondary school. Here we go, high school. It's a bit large. That's also a bit large. This one's not quite as large. Is this still a high school? Yes, okay, good. So I guess we could fit it in here. And then this area can become, or we can put some parks. So let's put in some parks. All right, ooh, some basketball courts. Those always look nice. And let's get a swimming pool. Let's go back to find it. And swimming pools are very important in cities, I've come to learn. They are common areas that allow people to congregate in ways that they weren't able to otherwise. Well, I mean, not just in terms of getting wet, but you could meet people who you didn't live nearby, or who you did live nearby but had no idea who was who. You'd all go down to the pool and find out, okay, now I know who these people are. And because I know who these people are, I could get with them, socialize, and enjoy. Now, yes, pools were also the means of transferring lots of different diseases, but they're a great area for social gathering. So having these pools in place are just like the old baths of Rome. They are important urban spaces, and if you don't have pools in your town, start going in and deleting buildings and putting pools in that where they need to go, because yeah, they're important. Let's take a look and see how the town grows here. Oh good, we're all right on the jails. We still need more elementary schools. Okay, let's get those in. Nope, that's a secondary school. How about this one here? And let's see if we can make it fit in around this area. Oh yeah, right there we go. Okay, we're in the yellow on that. I'll take that. Now with that improved education, we're going to see the skills develop within the population in the game. In real life, we'd have to have some more job training skills going on. So I hope you enjoyed our episode City in Crisis, and I hope you like, comment, and subscribe. Join the channel and join the journey through history with me, Dean Webb, on Cities Timelines. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.